Yo, what is up, money lovers? So in today's video, it's just going to be an LTL on Slurpy Swamp. This spot's really good for pretty much all game modes. Obviously, duos is included, so let's get started. I won't be able to take this HUD away because there's some sort of bug in creative or in playground replays right now where if you do that, you can't move the camera, so sorry about that. But for the first drop, so in terms of duo landing spots, I'd recommend sending 2 players to this main building if you're being contested by one team, or to go over to these further factories if there's 2 teams. I'll explain the benefits of each. So the reason why landing at the main building is better when it's just a 2v2 is because you want to be able to finish your fight fast, especially because this can be a very easy box fighting area. You need to finish it fast so that you can farm back all the health you lost. Ideally, you can get some fish in various spots since those are really meta. And then also just the fact that it's a edge storm, so you might have to make a far rotate. Also, if you try to land over here, then best case scenario, you get 14 floor loots and 6 chests, whereas people who land here will get 19 floor loots and 7 chests. However, it's more likely that you guys, if you land here, will only be getting 9 floor loots and 3 chests. So while you can take more time and loot up the extra buildings if it's a 2v2 that's already occurring in there, if there's 2 teams contesting you, then it's pretty likely that they'll both land main, since if it's very apparent that you guys are dropping here, they won't want to 50-50 that, since it's like throwing their game essentially. That'll give you guys more time to loot, and depending on what you get, you can decide if it's worth to take the third party, like if the fight just ended or something and you have decent amount or decent loot, or you can just dip out and go back to these backlands and rotate if you feel that you shouldn't take the fight. Alright, so in the event that it's a 2v2 and you guys are landing at the main building, I'd recommend sending someone over here. The reason being is that there is 1 floor loot here, and then I like to come over here where you can't really get beamed too hard from the players up here, and you try to break through this wall where there's a chest. And once you break that chest, you break this floor right here, and you'll be able to go or look underneath over here where there's other chests and spawns. The reason that that spot is good is because your duo should come from here where there's 1 floor spawn. Your duo should come here where there's 1 floor spawn, another in the beginning of the building, and if an enemy lands like over here or something, then you guys will be able to easily kill him with like a unexpected pinch. Otherwise, you two just move together and try to get like the barrels that are present in this room. Just be careful of like the open windows, although it's very difficult to get shots between them unless you're like straight in front of it, as well as the bathroom over here, and you guys should be pretty much max shields after that. So for the second loot route, if you guys are going to be landing in this area, then land together at these factories if you guys are heavily contested or someone's on top of this beaming one of you. If not, then you can try to break away and loot these other buildings so that the enemy can't get it, and you can just get more total loot for your duo. I think that once you guys finish looting up and you're deciding whether or not to approach, you should either go from behind on this area or have 1 person go here and another stay so that you can get maybe an unexpected angle, since players will typically build up on top of this area or this area while looking at you, so you'll have an opportunity for a shot there. Or if the fighting is in this main building, then I would suggest just quickly coming through this street and try to enter the building. Yeah, or at least take Haita. Alright, so in this VOD, it's Posick and Unknown Army versus Creo and Bucky, so some very high level competition. It's essentially a split with Posick and Unknown Army going the factory buildings, and then Bucky and Creo going the main one. So the way they drop is 1 lands here, and then Unknown landed over here, probably so that they could get more loot total. I would assume that Posick leaves this right one open in case Unknown wants to come through here instead of going to this smaller building in case he's getting pressured perhaps. So from here we can pretty much just see them farming up their mats, and Posick pretty much makes a huge wall to cover a good chunk of the area where he is now more free to farm materials safely. And meanwhile, Unknown is still over here, so he can kind of be thought of as like a shield, so to speak. So he gives Posick opportunity to farm while not having to watch his back constantly. And then Posick is just getting more mats because in like higher level fights, the mats are obviously really important, and they're just trying to increase their odds for winning. So from here, Unknown gets beamed by one of the players. So Poster comes out and builds up on the building for stability, which is nice.
He has perfect nades on me.
Yeah, he gets grenaded, which is unfortunate. But what I liked here is he'll take the minis, but instead of drinking the big potion, he'll farm his shield all the way back up. That's really smart because obviously big potions are just more rare. And from then, Unknown killed one, and then it's just a 2v1 with the other guy rushing quickly.
No, I just got my finish. I am popping minis.
So this map functions really similarly to my old one. The orange is pretty much good areas to farm wood that is either really efficient or really safe. The brick is just stones that you can mine while like you're passing by, where the brown is the brick. And then the loot routes that are in blue are pretty much how you want to go if depending on where the storm is. So you like to travel on this border ideally if it's going like north, for example. Same ideas here. I have a little bit of information on some of the markers, for example that. And so yeah, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe. Thanks.